Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pop Culture Opossum. Today we're going to talk about episode 5 of the Bad Batch
Episode
called
5.
Rampage.
That's right.
So, Olive, what did you think about this episode today?
Well, I thought it was real interesting. There was some development with the characters.
Yeah, that's right. So, one thing that we got to see with Omega was once again her connection with animals. It seems like every episode has a connection with some type of creature.
That's
Yeah.
right.
This
I
time
noticed
it
that.
was who?
I thought
It was the Rancor.
Moochie.
Moochie the Rancor, right?
I was gonna say that before I thought that Omega was gonna use her animal powers
Her special
to
animal
yeah,
powers.
to
Well-
make those creatures good.
That's what I thought. You know, when I saw that Dragonite character, I thought, oh, Omega's going to befriend that character and save the day. But
Right.
then it turned out to be all about the Rancor and Moochie.
That's right. Yeah, so we saw they're actually called Breezacs, these Dragonite creatures. And they were once seen in the Clone Wars episode with the Zygerians. So the Zygerians are like cat-like creatures.
Right.
And this, it seemed like, I guess it was probably just the new animation style. It's like slightly better animation style. I thought that they were redesigned a little bit, but I went back and looked at the original pictures. Like they look pretty similar. I think it's just the animation is just that much better now.
Yeah. Now I think that's that.
So we had that. We also had so the Bad Batch meet this character Sid, and they're told that they need to find this character Sid, and somehow Omega knows who Sid is, right? She says, "I found Sid," so that could be a clue too that perhaps that Omega is actually force sensitive. There's a lot of back and forth theories about if we think Omega might be force sensitive.
Okay.
So
That's
being
interesting.
that she knew who Sid was, that was one thing. The other thing is in Sid's shop, you could see a white Mandalorian helmet.
Oh.
And so there's some theories about that maybe too. Maybe some guesses. So it could be a white prototype helmet, and that helmet might be up for grabs. And who do you think might get that helmet? Maybe
I think Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Well, the thing is, perhaps Omega might get it because maybe Omega is going to be sort of like Boba Fett's sister. So we know that Fennec Shand is after Omega, and maybe do you think Boba Fett might have hired Fennec? Perhaps.
No,
That could be. Yeah, you know, they're really still making it very secretive who hired Fennec.
That's true. That's still the mystery. Like you said last time, like the obvious thing would be that the Kaminoans had hired Fennec.
Right, yeah. But I think that's just too obvious.
Obvious, right? It's
they're really kind of building it up. So I think if it turned out to be them, it would just be like, oh, well, that's not that interesting.
Right. So what if it was Boba that's kind of
that's
like
what
trying to get
I'm
her
thinking,
long-lost sisters they can team up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Being that Omega is so young right now, I think it's going to be kind of like seeing young Anakin in The Phantom Menace. I think that we're going to get to see Omega as an adult in live action.
Oh, that would be really, really cool.
Because she's young enough. Like they have Fennec right now. She's probably in like, I don't know, is she in her 20s or 30s? But
I'd say so, yeah.
In The Mandalorian, she's actually in her 50s. So this actually opens up, being that Omega is so young, this opens up for her to still be, in her 30s or 40s in either maybe the Book of Boba Fett or maybe even The Mandalorian season 3 and beyond.
Yeah, what I was trying to say is I still think that Darth Vader...
You still think Darth Vader is the one?
Well, we'll see.
Maybe it's Boba Fett dressed as Darth Vader.
Oh, that's a theory.
And it would be a surprise until like maybe the Book of Boba Fett.
Wow, that would be really crazy.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I thought one of the really cool things was seeing the Rancor, and they kind of leave it open ended that it's so Jabba hired Sid to get Muchi. So it's most
Yeah.
likely the same
Yeah.
Rancor in Return of the Jedi that
Yeah.
almost eats Luke.
Yeah.
And then so I had another theory which I haven't seen yet. So the Zygerians also captured some other people. They captured the Bad Batch at one point, and there is a creature um, in a species that is the same species as Prince Zizor from the Shadows of the Empire series, but there's also like sort of a chubby human, and I think that chubby human might be the future Rancor keeper.
I had that same thought.
Did you have that same
I
thought?
did.
Yeah, because it kind of looks like him, right?
It really does. Yeah.
I think they call him Malakili, something like that. Malakili. There was even a really good fan-made short film about him as the young Rancor keeper. But I think that it's going to wind up that he gets enslaved by Boba Fett and becomes the
Yeah, I
Rancor
think so.
keeper,
Because
it
why
looks
would they make that character so fat?
like him.
Just because? It just seemed a little strange to me.
So yeah, I think that might be him. I think that's and that's something that I haven't seen anybody talk about yet. Is the young Rancor keeper.
Yeah.
So and then it was really cool. I had a feeling that it was Bib Fortuna who had asked Sid to get back the Rancor to get Muchi.
Oh, you had a feeling about that?
Yeah,
Oh.
when they showed for they made it a secret. You know, they didn't show his full face in the transmission.
Right. Yeah.
So I had a feeling that it was Bib Fortuna, and then it wound up.
Well, it makes
Sure
sense.
enough, it was Bib Fortuna.
Yeah,
Sure
I
does.
forget about that part. I forgot about the part.
So I think it'd be cool if they have more Bib Fortuna in future episodes of this, and I'd really love to see flashbacks. Being that at the beginning, the tease for Boba Fett that they kill Bib Fortuna, I'd love to see him rise to power after Jabba is gone, after Return of the Jedi.
Oh, and I just wanted to mention again, we saw in the beginning of the episode that Rekka had another headache.
That's true.
So they're definitely leading up to something with
That's
that.
true. It's definitely something with the chip in his head, I think.
Yeah, well, maybe the chip in his head is maybe exploding.
It's exploding?
Oh.
Well, I think they're going to need to get that chip out. Otherwise, Wrecker's going to turn bad. You don't want Wrecker on your bad side, right?
No.
He's my favorite character.
Yeah, and so we got to see a lot of Wrecker. Like sort of, he kind of like trained the Rancor at the end. They kind of became buddies. Like they started off with sort of a battle, but then it sort of became
that battle. I think right now I'm thinking that maybe that's part of him turning bad.
No, well they made friends with Muchi. So at the end, so it really gives you a new perspective on Return of the Jedi. You're gonna start crying along with the Rancor keeper when Muchi meets her fate with Luke Skywalker. And yeah, so I really liked that they incorporated these old characters from Return of the Jedi, and I hope to see more cool characters like that coming back for this
Me
series.
too.
I like seeing the Zygerians from the Clone Wars. They're kind of like cats. Like I would love to see a parody where it's the Zygerians as the cats characters, like Zygerians, the magic, the mystery, Zygerians, now and forever at the Winter Garden Theater. So, what do you think is going to happen next? What do you think is going to happen in episode 6 of the Bad Batch?
Maybe they will. Maybe Omega is gonna change her room.
So she might change her room. So now she has a comm, which was it used to be Crosshair's comm. So now she is officially part of the Bad Batch. Now she has a weapon too that she picked up. So she's I think she's official now. She has her own weapon. She has her own comm, so she can communicate with the rest of the gang. Oh, one more thing I wanted to bring up was the title of this episode was Rampage, and that's definitely a nod to the old video game, which it had like Godzilla and King Kong. So it's kind of like Kong versus Godzilla, and that's what we saw with the Rancor versus the one creature that they battled, dragon, the Breezak. Yeah, so that was definitely a nod to that. So like, there's a lot of like nostalgia and pop culture references within the show itself. Sometimes referring to Star Wars itself, sometimes referring to other pop culture. But I thought this was a great episode, and I can't wait for episode 5.
Me too.
All right, we'll see everybody next time.
You
See you
mean
next
6?
time.
Take care.